We are here at Emarsys Revolution in London, and I have the pleasure today of speaking with Chris Seahorn of eBags. Chris, thank you so much for being here at Revolution, and thanks for being on the show. So for our audience who may not yet be as aware as they should be about eBags, what can you tell us about the company?
So eBags is a US retailer of bags and travel accessories. We have been around since 1999. We were just acquired by the Samsonite organization last year. So yeah, now we're working globally with Samsonite, Tumi, American Tourister as part of their family.
Fun times. So you're here at Revolution in London. What are your thoughts? Have you enjoyed the event so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been really good. It's a very cozy, more intimate event. I mean, the keynote speakers I've really enjoyed. Jo Malone and her storytelling around Joe Loves and her brand I thought was really interesting. It reminded me of a marketer about how important storytelling really is for your customer. I really liked Brendan Witcher's stories about personalization. And just the breakout sessions. It blows me away when you're talking to some of these other companies like Lissara who can get a product from idea to a customer's door within 3 weeks.
Incredible.
It just shows me that you always got to be pushing the boundaries of marketing and not being complacent at all. And the companies that are really doing well are doing that in a really effective way.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So lots of innovation here, lots of talk about innovation and lots of great examples. So since you're here on our show, Marketer and Machine, we talk a lot about the human elements of marketing, you know, the strategy, the content, and the creative that goes into all things marketing, the marketer. And then the technology that comes up all around us, hopefully to make our lives easier and to make us more effective in our roles, the machine. So I'm interested, from your perspective, what does that look like for you? What does it look like in your career and with your team? How are you finding that balance?
Yeah, it's a careful balance, right? It's interesting for me because in the last year, really with machine learning, with AI, with how fast technology really has been moving, a word like black box used to scare me. Like you wanted to always have that human element ingrained in everything, and letting the machine do its thing was something that we would really steer away from. But you always test. You don't become complacent. And what we're finding is a lot of machine learning actually really is relevant to the customer, and it actually helps my team be more efficient. I think the flip side is it's easy to become a little bit lazy with machine learning. If I bought a handbag for my mom, I don't want to see handbags for the next 6 months of my lives.
Right.
And so I think really knowing the customer and making sure you personalize relevant experiences, still interacting and injecting that human element into your machine learning strategy is incredibly important. It's easier said than done. But you always have to make sure you're having those conversations with your team and making sure it's part of that strategy.
Absolutely, because no matter what, no matter how advanced technology gets, you know, there's always, it's really human to human. It's a human or a team of human marketers trying to communicate with a human on the other side. And so you can't really lose that. And hopefully technology and all the data and advanced practices are helping us to do that better, not instead of.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really important for us is that we really have to remember what is the stories that we can tell? Like, what are the valuable stories you can tell that you can personalize this relevant experience that really is going to help that customer journey? What I think you forget sometimes is personalization, or what sometimes marketers forget is personalization is such a buzzword.
Yeah.
And how do you do it effectively? And how do you really tell your story?
It's not just adding someone's name to the subject line.
Yeah,
right?
subject line. And so where we've really taken a step back is really trying to find ways for us, being a travel goods company, that we are enhancing our customers' experiences. How do we make their travels better versus just talking about our product and all the benefits of that product? So it's a content play. It's a content play to help people understand that with their travels, we can help them get through security faster. We can help them avoid carry-on fees with certain types of bags. We can make packing organization even better. And those types of stories and that type of content personalized to the right experiences using machines is really kind of where that intersection is. I would say for our business, it's a big strategy. We have a ways to go to make ourselves even more effective. But we're talking about it, and I think that's the important part.
Absolutely, I think a lot of people do, and just awareness about what's possible, right? And I love, if we're talking about storytelling, I'm a huge fan too, but there's always a story, there's a context there. It's not just, here's a product, it's how you use it. Like you said, it's not just selling a product, it's selling a result that somebody really wants to get through security faster, to be able to fit more things into their vacation, to be able to take more of their life with them to other places, and so on and so forth. And I love that, because it's thinking more broadly as a marketer about why your customers or your clients are doing business with you. Because that's really what it's all about. They don't want a product, they want a solution, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
And I think so many times too is you have to remember, and it's such a 101, but like sometimes you just got to remind yourself that it's not you just talking about yourself. Your brand is about what your customers are saying about you. And if you can find that intersection of how you can provide a benefit to your customer, so you create advocates, you create brand evangelists, and the brands that are really winning are the ones that do that well. And remembering that.
yeah, absolutely. There's that saying that like nobody wants to be with that person at the party who just talks about themselves. And the same thing goes for marketing. Like nobody wants to pay attention to or consume content from, or even sometimes buy products from that company that just always talks about themselves and how good their product is and why you should buy it. It's the companies that keep their customer at the center are the ones that win in the long run. So definitely. So we also like to look with our guests into the future. So I don't know if you brought your crystal ball or not, but I'm hoping you can share a few of your predictions for what do you think is ahead for us as marketers, whether it's something that you're excited about or something that maybe you're even concerned about as you see it heading our way.
So I think there's a couple things that are going on right now. I think that the bar is being set really high on customer expectations for relevancy. I think the way to bridge that gap of personas, which I think are outdated, to segmentation, to individualism, is a challenge. And I think that the marketers that are able to do that right and work with the right technology platforms to help personalize that message for the right, relevant, valuable experience are the ones that are really going to win. And frankly, I think that customers are going to expect it. So for us, like really the future is bridging that gap of segmentation to individualism and doing it in an effective way that really resonates for our customer base.
Absolutely. Sounds good. So before we let you go, might you be up for some rapid fire?
All right.
Okay. So what is one word you would use to describe marketing today?
One word, dynamic.
Okay. How about something that you wish marketers knew, but you're pretty sure they don't?
I'm not sure I'd say this about all marketers, but I would say that there's a lot of marketers that they forget that they're not the hero of their story. Their product are themselves. They talk about the product with all the benefit statements of their product, when they have to remember that the customer is the hero and the product is a solution to a problem for that customer. If more marketers figure that out, their message is going to be a lot more effective.
I couldn't agree more. That's such a valuable reminder. I love that. So how about some content that you've consumed recently that you'd recommend for our audience? It could be podcasts or newsletter or book.
Oh yeah, I love podcasts. I just listened to the Jason and Scott show. It's a podcast in the US, it's really good. And then I just read a book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller.
We literally just read that too, about making your client is the hero, not the marketer.
Yeah, it's, you can tell it's kind of interweaving. But I thought it was a great book, and it was one I actually had my whole team read afterward. I felt like it was a great reminder.
He has a podcast too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's put it on the list.
Donald Miller. Yes, very good. Well, thank you so much for being here. And before we let you out of the hot seat, where can our audience find you and more information about eBags?
Great. So if you want to find me, you can find me at Seahorn for LinkedIn, and then eBags is ebags.com in the US.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
Thank you for being here in London at Revolution and for being here on Marketer and Machine.